Hey guys, Jigofano here. Um, Back again. Yay. I will be reviewing today, or not today, as I've already done two other videos today, but I will be reviewing at the present moment my pilot varsities that I have. Did I say parlet? I keep wanting to say parlet every single time I talk about the pilot varsities. I don't know if I just said that, but I just reviewed my Lamy Safari, so yes, here we go. It also occurred to me, by the way, that in my Safari video, if you have seen that, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. But if you have seen that, I didn't show you a writing sample or anything. I mean, if you've watched my other video, my Cross Blue ink review, you will see a writing sample with my Safari. But, it probably would have been nice to compare these two pens, which I didn't do, or I'm not going to do, but there you go. So the Pilot Varsity, what it looks like, I mean, this. So it says the Pilot logo, it says Varsity. For whatever reason, there's two different designs. This might be a new design for the black because I believe that they all used to look like this. So it could be a new design, but so the black has like these diamonds and it's kind of shiny silver. It's nice looking. The back is black, both of them, because this is a red one, if you couldn't tell. But and the cap is the color of whatever the ink is. So I have a red one and a blue one, or a black one. As for the cap, there are the tags. For whatever reason, the tag at the store rubbed off really, really easy. This one I don't use as much, so it didn't rub off, but yeah, so the cap is just a plastic cap. The whole body of the pen is plastic, of course. It says right there, Japan. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but it says Japan, so it was made in Japan. The clip on it is, as you can see, it has like this ball at the end. It's not that great. If you can see against my hand, I mean, this thing could snap if I put any more pressure on it, which I don't want to do, because I don't want it to snap. And just from me doing that, you can see that against my neck, it did lift off of the actual pen body, unlike this one, just from me bending it like that. So it will bend easy. Like compared to the Lamy Safari, if you've seen my video, I mean, there's no budge in this. But this one can probably fall out of your shirt pocket or something pretty easily. All good. Yeah, so it is a snap cap, as you can see. Just, they only come in medium sizes, nib sizes, which, I will move on to in a second after I will reference my Lamy Safari, but, so the nib, as you can see, looks like that. It just says pilot and medium in parentheses right there. You can't see it at all because my phone won't focus, but it says it just right here. On the nib, there is a breather hole, or, well, there's like the little circle, but it's not actually punched out, and that's the same with my red one, as you can see. So, I mean, they could have put a breather hole, because it's already punched out, but they didn't. I don't know why. So these are both medium, they only come in medium. The nib is nice, it actually is really smooth. It's nice, there's the feed there. I didn't show the feed in my Safari video. But yeah, as you can see on the end of the nib, it's rather, where's my finger? Where is my finger? There we go. It's just kind of like bally, while the Safari is, but not as drastically. So there's my Safari compared to the Varsity. You can't really tell, but the Varsity is basically the actual tip of the nib is a lot more like pronounced, sort of, I guess. And also with the Varsity, you can see it is a matte finish nib. It's not as shiny as my Safari, and the shape of the nib is different than the Safari. The Safari is a lot more straightforward, while this one's kind of more elaborate on the Varsity. It's not necessarily, you know, really fancy or something compared to the Safari, but it is different. Yeah, as you can see here, you can see the feed actually through it. It's transparent. You can see my finger sort of moving behind it. So there's the feed, and you can see a bit of the ink right here. It is nice. I mean, they're disposable. They're meant to be disposable, but you can refill them. It's a cheap pen. It's just a disposable pen. just a fountain pen instead of a different pen. The red one, as you can see, has the red ink in there, and it's the exact same thing. Yeah, I do, the difference is between, I'm going to consider this a new one, a new design. I don't have any other ones, but all of the other ones I had at the shop of different colors were this style of barrel, not this style, so I don't know. But, on this one, on the red one, it actually does have something so you can see a little window so you can see how much ink you have left. I'm pretty sure that's on all the other colors besides this black one specifically. But yeah. So now, I forgot to mention on the barrel it just said Pilot. Big deal. So now for the writing sample, I've just written assorted things with that before I actually got my Safari. So I will show you, and I will compare it with the Safari. So I will start with the black one. As you can see with the black one, I'll put it sideways, you don't have to read it, it's nothing important. Go with the black one. If you can tell, behind this page actually is where I've used the Varsity again, and it did bleed through a lot. You can see all the little dots, and it ghosts really bad compared to the Safari, which I'll show you in a second. So yeah, and there also is feathering. This is why I don't like this angle. But there is feathering. I don't know how well you can see that, but it just does feather a little bit, especially on sheet paper, like for school. My Safari does not feather at all, and it doesn't bleed through at all. Well, this one will bleed through and feather. So yeah. Now this is the red ink. The red is a very vibrant red. It looks pink on camera, but yeah. The black, I think, is a lot more apparent that it feathers, and it's a lot more apparent that it bleeds through. Like, you can see the red kind of ghosting through a little bit, but it's not as noticeable as the black, just because it is a red ink, not a black ink, so it doesn't stand out as much. So yeah, I don't think I might. Let's see here. Yeah, like there's the red, just the back of the blank page, and the black one, like right there, it does bleed through. So yeah, now compared to just the Lamy Safari, just for a quick comparison, like there's the Safari. So the Safari is significantly less feathering. On the back of the page that I've written on with the Safari, no bleed through at all. Yeah, so I mean, it is, and oh, there is a little ink window. You can see it right there. I didn't even know that existed. But there you go. Yeah, I'm not trying to make this about the Safari, by the way, guys, sorry. The Varsity is also, it runs pretty broad. I don't know how well you can see that, but I mean, it is pretty broad. Being a medium nib, you'd expect it to be broad, and of course, I mean, it is a cheaper pen, so I wouldn't expect it to be perfect. But compared to the Safari is a fine nib, but being a Western pen, it does run big a little bit. So I mean, pretend like this is the equivalent of the Varsity medium being a fine of a Western pen. I mean, they're pretty close, but overall the Varsity does write bigger, especially when it feathers and bleeds through and stuff. Like, specifically on sheet paper, it's very noticeable. It looks really broad, and lots of times your letters will run together, and they will just appear fuzzy and stupid lots of times. So when you're doing your cursive and you're trying to write small or something for notes, it will feather. Another thing, just very quick, most pens, of course, do not have that Safari grip, but since I've gotten used to the Safari grip, this pen is really weird to write with. It's kind of hard to hold, for me personally, but after just using the Safari, I've gotten used to it, okay? So, bias, yes. But it is just kind of a big section, not a lot smaller than the barrel. I mean, it's a pretty thick section. Overall, I would post this pen. I mean, it works. It's fine. It is a pretty good sized pen. I mean, depending on how high up you hold it, I mean, it does work. But, I personally would post it. The posting is good. It does not fall off at all. I mean, it's, yeah. So it posts good. I would personally post it. It's a disposable pen. It's pure plastic, so it's very, very light. Like, it's a smaller pen, so like with my Varsity, my Safari, I've said that I would not post it because it's big. This one I would, personally. The nib is metal, of course, being that it is a fountain pen. If you find a fountain pen with a plastic nib, that's stupid. That's not even existent, I don't think, but that's really stupid if you do. But overall, the Varsity is a good pen, good for starters, $5, really cheap. It's a nice pen, it works. It does introduce you quite well to fountain pens. It does give you that introduction. It does write a lot smoother than a ballpoint or something. So it does give you in that aspect the whole fountain pen experience. But overall, I mean, if you've never tried a fountain pen before, get this. But if you're experienced with fountain pens, or, you know, you've at least tried them out or something, and you do have an interest in them and you do like them, instead of just trying them out with this, I would recommend just saving up and buying a Safari or something like it. You can still get a cheap pen. I mean, you can get a Jinhao X450, I believe, for $10 off of Goulet pens or something like that. I mean, they're really, really cheap. So you're paying the same price as I got for 2 of these for an actual fountain pen, just a Chinese fountain pen. So I mean, I would recommend. I wouldn't prefer. I mean, it's your guys' choice, but I would recommend buying that instead. I think this is running longer than my Safari video, which is kind of interesting since it's a better pen than these. But yeah, so I'm gonna shut up. Pilot Varsity, very cheap. I know in Canada it goes by the V pen, same exact thing basically. There's a bunch of different colors. You can buy them in like 10 packs or something. With I think they have, you know, red, black, blue, purple, whatever. I don't know all the colors. I'm sure they probably have a yellow and a green, maybe something. I'm just making stuff up, but yeah, it's a nice pen for starters. I would recommend it if you are just gonna try them out, like I did. I bought 2 of those so I could try them out and see if I liked them, and I fell in love with fountain pens. And then I bought my Safari. These, like I've said, you can convert them so you can just refill them. I don't know how to do it. I'm sure it's probably pretty easy. So you don't need to throw these away. They are disposable, but they don't need to be disposable. Yeah, I mean, it's a cheap pen. It's a cheap $5 pen. It's good for starters. It's good to keep on you if you are going someplace where you might need a pen, but you don't necessarily want to be someplace where you can break or lose your nice fountain pen. You can take this with you. If you lose it, it's $5 down. Who cares? It's not going to break because it's solid plastic. I mean, it's like a ballpoint pen, just with a fountain pen tip, with a nib. So yeah, this video is stupid and really long. It's a disposable fountain pen. Buy it if you want it. It's not a collectible pen though. You know, you're not going to buy this to put in your collection per se, because it's just a cheap disposable fountain pen. So yeah, I will see you guys with my next video. Watch my Lamy Safari video if you haven't yet. It's a very nice pen, better than these. It's a lot higher quality nib, of course, being more expensive, but it does write smoother. It doesn't feather or bleed through nearly as much, especially on like cheap paper. At school, I haven't had any problems with feathering or bleed through or even ghosting with my crappy notebooks. Well, this one, I couldn't use the backside of the page. So yeah, that's it guys. I will see you later.